folks barely down the street with the brim pulled way down low. Ain't no sound but the sound of his feet. Machine guns ready to go. Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Out of the doorway, the bullets rip to the sound of the beat. Yeah. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust.
Explanation. Steve Zaudke is our guest this hour. He's the author of Soul Speaking, Can Your Soul Speak? His website is www.mysoulspeaking.com. Steve, before we went to the commercial break, you were telling us about one of the tools that you use for people who are not spiritually inclined. And what is the tool you use for those who have seen the Lord or are following the ways or are spiritually inclined in one way or another?
Well, the tools that are for those who are of faith are MetaPray, Stop, Deflect, Send, and Life Actions. If you go over to, and Life Review, and if you go over to the folks who aren't of faith, it's pretty much the same thing, except instead of MetaPray, it's MediConnect. And then there is no Send because that's really more of a spiritual thing.
Steve, what would you like people to walk away with after reading your book?
Find their path. That'd be the coolest thing for me to, that's the one thing that the folks who've read my book is I changed something in their life. And if it's, how they treat others or if they find their connection with God better or they know how to connect with God better, just something that I improve their life. That's any author would want that.
All right, Steve, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. Continued success. And, we'll speak to you the next time you're here with us in the X Zone. Wow. Here you've got a guy teaching or doing the life coaching circuit who was inspired by a psychic or a spirit channel who has no kids and yet is telling other people what they should do with their kids, as I understand it. It makes no sense to me. How can you teach something that you have no knowledge of? I think kids today are spoiled. I think the school system needs a good swift kick in the butt. I think mom and dads have got to take more responsibility and become parents. Stop being a best friend to your child. Be a parent, for God's sake. Stop giving in to them for whatever they want. They don't need video games. They need to get off their butts and get some exercise, for goodness sake. They don't need hamburgers. They need real meals. They don't need to sit, watch TV or use the computer while they're eating. They need to sit down and reconnect with their family. Be part of a family instead of part of a club. And for goodness sakes, get real. Be responsible. Be responsible for your actions. I forget whose phrase this is, but suck it up, Nancy. Gosh, I think the biggest problem with people today is that we live in a spoiled society. He's only given away books. None of his books have been sold yet. It'll be interesting to find out how this book does. On a scale from 1 to 10, I give it a 3. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Yeah, if you raise kids, they've gone to school, then talk to me about how or what the best thing is to do with kids. But if you have no kids, I'm sorry, doesn't wash. Practice what you preach. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Out of the doorway, the bullets rip to the sound of the beat. Yeah. Another one bites the dust.
Uh-huh.
Another one bites the dust.
Big time.
And another